All right. Listen, I am pumped. It's MIMs Monday. Ain't nothing like MIMs Monday, y'all. Make it make sense. Mondays featuring ORINA. I am Queen of B. I am just, I'm excited. This is the Diasporan dialogue. This is the Diaspora connecting. ORINA is on the continent and I'm in the States. So we're going to have a very rich conversation between African people, Black people, and that's how it's supposed to be. That's what we do. We do that on Black Box Radio 6 to 9 times a month. We are a multimedia platform illustrating Black excellence. And we appreciate you guys coming through. Listen, I need you guys to like, share, subscribe. Listen, subscribe to Brother ORINA's joint, and please subscribe to Black Box Radio. We need to build this space. This space is a authentic space for the African face. And we're going to have these great conversations every second and fourth Monday. So we need you guys to tap in, pull up. You know, this is an international thing. We're connecting African people. You know what I'm saying? This is not about me and him. This is about all of us. We're a community. We're a tribe. We are people, a great people. Don't let nobody ever tell you not a great people. So ORINA, say hi to the people, bro.
Oh, I'm good. How's everybody doing? It's your brother ORINA, founder of Sell Africa to Africans, and Queen. You know, like it's sorry for is it? I didn't make it last time. I had a really bad flu. You know, when you guys are experiencing the summer, we you know it gets cold here.
Oh,
so
really? Okay.
yeah, it's really cold right now in Kenya, and it's rainy. So.
Oh, wow.
I got a bad flu, but now I'm back. Now
you back, looking real good. Listen, we was gone for a month. We had a few setbacks, but now we set up for greatness. We set up to go. And today we're a little late. I apologize, but look, guys, I didn't cut my finger off. I thought I was really grown. I went out here. I'm a juicer. Try to eat as natural as possible. Eat veggies and fruits. So I juice every morning. So I bought me a Japanese knife. I'm African now. I'm going out here buying some Japanese matzo knife. Bro, I used that knife. It dang near took my finger off. Look at here. So I need surgery, emergency surgery. So that is why we're late today. I cut my finger really deep to the white meat. I had to make sure it was a white meat, bro, because I thought I was brown all the way through. But when that white meat came up this morning, it is some white meat under there. so, but I'm still here. I'm happy to be here. MIMS Monday. What we talking about, ORINA? What we diving into, bro?
Well, today we have to talk about Ibrahim Traore. We have to talk about Ramaphosa and what happened in the White House and what's happening in South Africa. But before we start, I'd like to say rest in peace to Albert Ojwang. So, for those who don't know what's happening right now, this is a brother who was murdered in the hands of police here in Kenya for basically tweeting. I think he tweeted something against the government, and basically he was abducted by police officers and he was murdered in the jail cell. So. Yeah, so that's what's happening right now. That's what everybody's talking about here in Kenya. So rest in peace, Albert Ojwang.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Rest in powerful peace. That's so unfortunate to hear. I'm really sorry that you can't even speak freely. And it's a tweet. You kill somebody over a tweet? Really? Man.
You know, let me tell you something, Queen. Let me tell you something. History doesn't remember bad leaders. Like especially in Africa, history never remembers bad leaders. Nobody remembers like like nobody remembers these awful leaders. Nobody will remember Ruto. Nobody will remember Museveni. Nobody
Mm.
will remember even Ramaphosa. Nobody will remember him. Nobody will remember all these useless leaders we have right now. But
That,
or like even
that's a
yeah,
great.
like no, it's true. Like I mean, take a look at history. Nobody remembers bad leaders, but
No
everybody.
one
But
remembers King Leopold, who killed all the people in the Congo. No one talks about it. They talk about Hitler. King Leopold was the killer, baby. No one talks about this killer in Belgium. It
and you
is what.
know, yeah, and that just goes to show you that white life is not equal to black life.
Yes, yes,
Oh
that is
my
so true.
God. King Leopold killed way more Africans than Hitler killed Jews,
Millions of
and
Africans, millions of
and
Africans.
nobody says a damn thing
There you
about
go. There
about
you
the
go.
Congo.
That's it. That's it. So I love that point that no one we won't remember bad leaders. So I want to appeal to your leader in Kenya, Mr. William Ruto. If listen, is this going to be your legacy? Do you want nobody to remember you? Do better, bro. You got to do better. Got to do
I don't
better.
think like I don't think he cares about that. All he cares about is his stomach. Just like 80, I would say 90% of African leadership is just a bunch of useless people who only care about their stomach. I mean, it's embarrassing.
Mm,
That's why I really like Ibrahim Traore. But before I go to Traore, let me just finish my like nobody remembers bad leaders, but history always judges good leaders in a very good way. Every till this day, people are talking about Kwame Nkrumah,
yep.
Thomas Sankara,
Yep.
Patrice Lumumba. You
Yep.
see,
Yep.
like people like history remembers them, and history will never forget them.
Gaddafi. We're never going to forget.
Exactly. So that's what's happening right now. So with Traore, like they want to kill him now. But
Well,
of course they're using.
can you do me a favor though? Is the root? What are they saying about the killing? I mean, can you give us a little update? I know everyone's talking about it, but we haven't heard much about it. So, what is the government saying? What is going? What is like the tampra in Kenya over this unsenseless killing?
Well, what's happening now is first of all the police. I think the head of police or the police. The statement that came from the police is that he banged his head multiple times, so that's why he died. And we were like, "What? What do you mean? Like you think we're just a bunch of fools, right? Like you mean
That's
to tell
taking.
me that somebody can
That's
bang
the.
their head on the wall to death?"
But why would he have to go to jail to do that? He could do that at home. What are you talking about?
Exactly, exactly. So people are very enraged. People are very enraged, and this might lead to a nationwide protest because it
Hmm.
literally happened. It happened a few days ago, 2 days ago, if not one day ago. So yeah,
Mm.
so that's what's happening now.
Okay.
That's what's happening.
It's bad. All right, let's move on then. We're going to say rest in peace to that brother. And we would like to hear more from you on the fourth Monday at the end of the month. Let's get an update on the situation, on that situation. But it's never good. It's amazing that that can go on in Africa and that's happening in America. So how do we point fingers at these Europeans and their maliciousness when we're doing this to each other? We got to do better. We have to do better.
Queen. Let me tell you something. I'm really even as we're talking about Traore. Traore is not a genius. Like let me even read you his achievements. I he let me I downloaded something. Let me read you some of the things he has done. Doesn't necessarily term him as a genius. He's just a guy who's doing what our president should do.
True. True.
Like,
True.
look. It's been what, almost 2.5 years or almost 3 years, and Burkina Faso GDP grew from 18.8 billion to 22.1 billion.
Good job.
He has rejected loans from the IMF and the World Bank. He said
Yep.
Africa doesn't need the IMF and World Bank, Europe, or America. He reduced the salaries of ministers and parliamentarians by 30% and increased salaries of civil servants by 50%. And this is what I really like. All these ministers and do you know that in Kenya, our members of parliament, our parliamentarians are some of the best paid in the world. In the world, Kenyan MPs are some of the best paid in the world. Like, and all they do is to talk nothing and sleep in the parliament and basically just receive you know receive some money from powerful people to pass laws that are against the people. So
Mm.
that's so look, he Traore reduced salaries for ministers and parliament by 30%. He paid off Burkina Faso's local debts. He established 2 tomato processing plants, the first ever in Burkina Faso. In 2023, he inaugurated a state-of-the-art gold mine to enhance local processing capabilities. He stopped the export of unrefined Burkina Faso gold to Europe. He built Burkina Faso's second cotton processing plant. He opened the first ever national support center for artisanal cotton processing. He banned the wearing of British legal wigs and gowns in local courts. This is something that we still do in Kenya. Have
Why are
you
you
have
guys
you
doing
seen
that?
these?
Yeah, why
You're
are you
like,
guys doing that? These white wigs, they do it in South Africa. Why?
it is so, you look so stupid wearing those wigs. And why are you wearing a blonde wig?
Why are you wearing that? Why? I don't get it.
Oh, I'm a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. I'm a judge. I have to wear this blonde wig so that. What do you mean? Why? Like, it looks so stupid. All these European things
Colonization
need
of the
to
mind
go.
is real. The colonization of the mind is bigger than anything. And when your mind is colonized, you'll do anything. It is no way you see a man put on a blonde wig. You won't even put on an African wig. But you put on a blonde wig. Would you put on a wig with braids? No. Would you put on a wig with dreads? No. You would grow them. So why would you put on a blonde wig? It's crazy. And it's all over Africa. You got to stop that. Got to. That's got to stop. That's symbolism at the highest. Go ahead. What
Yeah,
else?
and then number 11, he prioritized agriculture by distributing over 400 tractors,
Yep.
239 tillers, 710 motor pumps, and 714 motorcycles to boost production and support rural stakeholders.
Yes.
He provided access to improved seeds and other farm inputs to maximize agricultural output. Tomato
Yes.
production. So listen, like, tomato production increased from 315,000 metric tons to 360,000 metric tons.
That's
Millet
excellent.
production, millet production has risen, rice production has risen. He banned French military operation in Burkina Faso. This is something that I really like. You, like, for example, Angola is Portugal's former colony.
Mhm.
Portugal has to set up army base. Even here in Kenya, we were colonized by the British. There is still
Yep.
a big army. In fact, a big army base here in Kenya, a British army base. Now, let me tell
Yeah.
you something, Queen. One thing you need to know about the British soldiers who are in Kenya uh,
Mm.
is one thing that people need to know is that they are no good. In fact, they go ahead to harass the locals. There are many cases of African women being raped by British soldiers. Oh, there are so many cases.
That's
So
the
many
thing.
cases.
That's been talked about. That's a thing. That's not
Oh,
nothing.
that's
And it's not a new thing. It's a sad thing. But it is a thing. It's been talked about internationally about the rapings that's going on in Kenya for women from the British soldiers. And why is nothing being done about it?
because well, the leadership is in bed with the British colonial system. I
Yeah,
mean, the
that's
Charles. I don't like calling him. I don't like calling him King Charles. He's not my king. He has
he's not
never
no
been
king.
my king.
I agree.
Uh, and you know what sickens me is that when he came to Kenya, was it last year or 2 years ago? I don't know. We like the president gave him a red carpet treatment. Red
Wow.
carpet treatment. And this is a person whose family has been, has colonized this country. Like
Yes.
we are the only people who give a red carpet treatment to our colonizer. You never see Israel give a red carpet treatment to the head of the neo Nazis.
Yeah,
Do
to
you? Do
Germany.
you? Do you? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Hey, Elizabeth died, and all these African presidents went to pay their respects to their former killer.
Our
I
present
mean,
killer. She ain't even a former. She's a present killer. They still in the country maximizing what they can maximize away from Africans. They don't need no celebration. They're not nobody's royal family. They're not royal to nothing. Not to me.
I remember like my uncle. My uncle is in the UK.
Mm.
He called me and he was like, "You don't feel anything about this?" I'm like, "Well, actually, he was telling me, I mean, just feel something." I'm like, "Feel what? Feel what?" This is a person. I mean, Elizabeth and the royal family. They killed and neutralized the Mau Mau, and that
Jeez.
was and the Mau Mau was neutralized and killed and tortured and all that stuff when I don't like calling her Queen Elizabeth because she wasn't my queen, and she's not my queen. I think she's a
I call
killer.
her that lady. That lady. When that lady was in her Miami and all of them, all of those people, because they're not no kings and queens. I don't know, whatever.
Well, I'm sure you've heard about the Mau Mau. I mean,
Yeah.
the queen. Well, she was queen when the Mau Mau was tortured and was neutralized, and when Dedan Kimathi was killed.
Wow.
Till this day, I'm sure the leader of the Mau Mau, Dedan Kimathi, we don't even know where he's buried. People say he's buried under one of our prisons. Others say that like nobody knows where he's buried till this day.
Till this day.
So so that's the person who you want me to respect. That's the person who you want me to celebrate. We give a red carpet treatment to our former colonizer.
Unbelievable.
So so oh, by the way, and 3 years ago, the British Army base, they were burning our forest.
They were
Like
what?
the white folks were burning our forest, and nobody said a thing. And that's how you know that even the media is greatly, one thing you
Wow.
should know about Kenya. In Kenya, the
Hmm.
media is greatly controlled by the government because the government is the number one advertiser in local media.
Listen, it sounds like every European country. The media, as Malcolm said, is the most dangerous entity. And they utilize it as a part of the system. And they do that in every European system. They do it in the US. And we see Kenya as lock, stock, and barrel. It's awful. Just awful. It's ridiculous. It's hard to digest what we hear, and to digest this and understand that these are African people. Like, we are still emulating people who have hurt us to the core and who are continually to do malicious and insidious things to the African, and we put them on pedestals. What is wrong with us?
It's
What's
called
going on with us?
It's called post-traumatic slavery disease, and it's also called post-traumatic colonization disease. So for
Is it?
us here
Okay.
in Africa, is PTCD,
Oh,
post-traumatic colonization disease. For
gotcha.
Africans in the diaspora, is post-traumatic slavery disease. We
Ooh,
are
I
so
love
obsessed with we are so obsessed with white people. This is
that.
the and like we are so obsessed to a point whereby we give red carpet treatment to our former colonizer.
Hmm.
Anyway, so these are some of the achievements. I'm almost done. So he banned French military operations in Burkina Faso. He banned French media in Burkina Faso. He expelled French troops from Burkina Faso. His government is constructing new roads, widening existing ones. He's building a new airport,
Yeah.
and also we know what he's doing with the electric vehicle. The electric vehicle plant. So I mean, when
And he's
you
also
know
building
the
a phone. They said he's building a mobile phone mobile phones in Burkina Faso. They opened up a manufacturing facility, and the way that he's building roads, it says technologically unbelievable. So I have to look. I was reading on it a little bit last night, and then I couldn't. But I wanted to bring that to him. But he's building roads in a way that they think will change Africa. The way that he's building his roads, they're not they're like new technology. So um, I think his
yeah,
genius is not particularly that he's not. He is a great president. Even though he did a coup, I think he has the people in mind. I think he's inspired the world. But I think more than that is he's genius when he has to be when it comes to responding to America and responding to Trump and responding to Macron. He doesn't back down. I think that's what to me inspires so many people as he speaks truth to power in such an eloquent and articulate way that because the first thing they want to say to Africans is we can't understand you. Oh, we don't know what you're saying. You speak in English, but they can't understand nothing. So that's the first thing, that your accent. So the way that he is able, and not that he doesn't have an accent, but the way that he speaks to them, they understand. They feel he's powerful, and he's very calm in that in his demeanor. So to me, he's like a black god. He's a black man, baby. He's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Queen, let me ask you, out of the 20 something achievements I've read from from the things that Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso, is there one thing that is difficult to do there? Like, is there one thing that requires a lot of brain power and a lot of thinking? This guy, like what he's doing basically, he just loves his people. That's
He
the
loves his
only
people, but
thing.
he's being strategic too, brother. Like,
Oh
let
yeah,
me tell
yeah,
you,
like
he's
yeah,
being very
like
strategic. It takes a lot of strategism and planning, and he has a serious underbelly of crime in his country that is affecting the villages. So he has to be he has to be a military leader. He has to be a sovereign leader. He has to be a social leader. He's watching social media. He's very so it's a lot of I think we can't diminish what he's doing on to me and say it's not genius. And I see what you're saying. He's not doing what leaders shouldn't do. He's doing what leaders should do. He loves his people. But I think his strategism and how he's put a fire to the Sahel
yeah,
region, to Africa, that takes more than that takes some genius. Not everybody
yeah.
can fire people the way he is. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but out of the 20 something achievements I've read, there is nothing that is hard over there. Cutting salaries of parliamentarians and ministers is not hard. Cutting useless expenses from the government is not hard.
But it's
Increasing
not hard.
production.
He's getting people
like
trying to kill him too.
like
Remember now, he's at 18, probably they say 20 now, attempts on his life. Within doing all of this, I think it's genius. We got to get a brother some love.
no, I'm not diminishing him. I'm saying my point is there
Mm-hmm.
is nothing that he has done that is hard to do.
No, no.
The things that the achievements that I've just read
Other leaders can
requires
do it. You're saying that he's not doing what another leader can't do. That's what you're saying. You're not
exactly
saying that he's not great. You're saying that what he's doing, every leader can do. And why are we not
every
expecting?
leader
Yes.
every leader can do, and it requires only two things. You just need to have two things. You don't need to be a genius to do the things that he's doing, to increase production, to cut the budget, to remove your former colonizers from from your country. You don't need to be a genius to do this. You just need to have two things in you: love and care. That's it, and that's what he has. The only thing you need to do is love and care for your people. That's the only thing you need to do so that you can be able to say, if I love and care for my people, what do I do to show the love and care that I have for my people? And 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 the answer to that question is those 20 something or 30 something achievements that I've just read.
But
Let
can
me
I
tell you
say one
something,
thing
Queen.
too?
And I always,
Can I say something? Can I say something in response to that a little bit? Because I want to kind
yeah,
of put some context. Because we're talking, you just mentioned Patrice Lumumba and Thomas Sankara. These folks who were brutally murdered by the Western powers, right? So they were trying to, they were Pan-Africanists. They wanted Africa to be a self-sufficient nation, continent, and that all of their countries would be self-sufficient. But you can have these amazing ideas. You can be a great president, but you still got to galvanize the people because your own, what happens to these guys is they got killed. So he's been able to galvanize the military. They believe in him. They are sleeping outside his door. That is bigger, and a lot of it, I'm sure, is because they know they're fearful of his life because they've seen it before. They've seen death before with their leaders. So I understand this behavior. But if he wasn't the man that he was, I don't know if the people would be so inspired. They'd be like, about time and keep it moving. But they want to die for this man. That
why
takes
do they want to die for him?
that takes amazing leadership. I think his leadership abilities we cannot diminish because he's doing things that leaders should do. Yes. And he is doing things, but and you got to have those two things, but you got to have a few more things. You got to have a very strategic mind and understand how to deal with personalities and come from a military background and understand the military portion of what you're doing, because your life is at stake, your family's life is at stake. You got a lot on his shoulders. It's bigger than care and love. I know you got to care and love your people, yes, but if you're not strategic, they're gonna kill you. You won't be there
Of
long.
course. Well, of course, you need to be strategic. Of course, you need to apply your mind 100%. Of course,
Because Sankara
but
and Lumumba, they were
but
great men, but they got to them because they did not have that part. They didn't do that part. You gotta have
but
the other part. You can have all of this strategic, all of this good leadership and care, but if you don't watch your back and you don't got your gun and you don't galvanize the people, them people gonna kill you.
oh, of course, and that's what they're trying to do now with Africom. Uh, uh, by the way, let me tell you, they always put a black face
Yes,
to like look this
Ism is real.
commander, yeah, like
Langley,
yeah, Michael
Langley.
Langley. Like, look. Let me tell you something about Michael Langley. He came to Kenya a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, Ruto invited Africom to have I don't know, they had like a summit or whatever,
Yes.
and I was like, what is wrong with you? Like after after what is going on, the whole continent is behind Traore
Why would you think?
against Africom, and after what Michael Langley said, those combative words he said to Traore, saying that he's using the gold to enrich himself, and then
Yes.
one thing about, and then the Burkina Faso people were like, no, he isn't doing it. So
Yep.
after what he said, and after them trying to kill him 20, 20 plus times, you invite him to Kenya for a summit. Like, what is wrong with this guy?
This your president. Uh this your president, brother. This is your president. This is how, because listen, Europeans, the only thing that matters is how things look. So symbolism matters. These type of, so what they do is they're always performing. It's never anything real. It's always a performance. So this is another performance to show something to the African leaders that are not a bucking, in other words, who are not who don't want nothing to do with any of them. So they feel that they can come together in a country that where they still have some stronghold, but these guys don't give a damn. Let's be clear. They just don't give a damn. Traore don't care. Niger don't care. Mali don't care. You see Chad don't care. Botswana don't care. Nobody care. Ghana don't care. So the folks who they're trying to perform for are too busy focused on their own country. And that is the only way for them to go forward, is to focus on your own and then bring it to a united front. We cannot, it's always going to be outliers. Ruto, what are we going to do with him? Y'all got to vote him out of there. Do y'all, what kind of elections y'all had? They're democratic? Are they fair?
Fair what? It's a joke.
Same thing here, joke. Same thing we got. We say it's democratic, ain't it? Please, electoral college and a bunch of foolishness. Voting is trash. So you have to move around. But the people have the power. Don't you think that?
Of course, the people have the power. Of course.
Yeah.
And
So
and I was so happy when people all over the continent and even outside the continent were standing in solidarity with Ibrahim Traore. And
yeah.
I think that after that happened, Africom was like, whoa, okay, this is new. You know.
That's why
So
he
I think
changed
that's why.
that's why he changed his language. Michael Langley would have never stepped that back if it impacted the way they wanted to. They only did it because the people said, nah, we're not going for that. All over the world, people was like, shut your mouth.
Now let me tell you something. God forbid if they neutralize Traore.
Mm.
The anger and the consciousness amongst Black people globally will go through the roof.
Yep.
The most dangerous thing that
is to wake people up.
white supremacy doesn't want to happen is black consciousness to go through the roof.
Yes.
Like, you don't want that to happen, because if that happens, then black, like I always say, like, the 60s is the decade that black people's consciousness was at an all-time high.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the 60s, black people were thinking about freedom and freedom only. In Africa, in the 60s is when most African countries got independence. America, civil rights, Malcolm X, all that, the British Black Panther. Like, the 60s, black people were focused. Now,
because
when
we weren't comfortable. See, we weren't comfortable. That we're just coming out of Jim Crow, just coming out of 300 something years of 245 years of chattel slavery, and then all of the Jim Crow and all of the processes that to even get to the 60s. So they weren't comfortable, but we got comfortable. We unbothered now. We got hip hop. We got a little bit of money. We got grills in our mouth. You know what I'm saying? We comfortable.
But that's about to change.
Mm,
because when I saw people continent, like even outside Africa,
mhm.
like people all over the world standing with Traore, I was like, ah, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Now, if God forbid, if they unalive him,
Mm,
that's the last thing they want to happen, because I assure you, Queen,
we don't want to talk
black
about
consciousness and black anger and black anger against white supremacy will be at an all-time high. In fact, it might even break the focus and the anger and the consciousness that was in the 60s. Now, when that happens, it will be the beginning of the end of white supremacy. So that's why they're like, okay, you know what? Let's cool down.
I
Let's
really think we're
retreat.
at the beginning of the end of it, though. We're at the beginning of the world understanding what's going on. That
Oh yeah.
America, I think America is definitely teetering. It will never be the same after Trumpy. And I
Well,
think, go ahead.
yeah. Well, let me rephrase. It will be almost. Actually, it will be the end.
The
It will
end.
be the end.
If they
It will
actually
be
do
the end.
some, any of them, any of these new leaders that particularly are people are seeing and that are they're celebrating the Sahel states, um, and any of these countries that like Trumpy just had his executive order and said that Chad can come in the country in the U.S. And the Chad president said, "Listen, y'all can't be here. You got to go." And so he could usually write some, we could have executive orders, and Africa would never say a word. But that day is over. Namibia, that lady, she was like, nah, you
Mm.
can't just walk into this country no more. And so things are particularly changing, and that's what technology is our friend. You know, we talk about how technology is going to take over, but it's our friend in these matters because we can see things that we would have never, we didn't see these type of things with Thomas Sankara and Lumumba because we did not have the technology. Now they can't hide it. They can't hide these leaders. And when these leaders get on social media, there's thousands watching. Matter of fact, if just the whole of Africa watch, it's scary because the numbers, it exceeds America's numbers. It exceeds so many, the population alone. And Africa, when Africa stands up and looks at something and they tune in and listen, they don't want to wake up that nation. We talk about the second largest nation country in the world. The youngest population in the world. Do you want all those young people coming for you? Black and strong? Nah, you don't want that. So you better find a way to negotiate, I think. So one thing Europeans don't want to do is die.
Well,
They're
they're
doing
dying. I
things
mean,
not to
their
die.
population.
The
Well, their
population is dying.
population
Yeah,
is dwindling. In fact,
they know it.
I think in the next 30 years, I think.
They said 2030, it was 2040, now it's 2036. It's advanced that they will
Yeah,
be the minority in America now. They're already minority in the world, though.
in the
We're
world,
fooling
yeah, they're
ourselves.
really minority in the world.
These
Yeah,
folks are 17% of the population. They are not a lot of people. There are more melanated people on this planet than anybody. Brown people. We have the power. It's just it. And then you bring the diaspora in, and then the South Asian brownies, because we got brownies in South Asia too, baby. We got the
yeah.
Indians and the Malaysians. Come on, we got brownies. We got brownies everywhere. So if we were to count that, that's over 55 to 60% of the population. So we got to look at it in an international sense, not just America and Europe. These are small. Europe is one of the smallest countries in the world. It's small. It's little. And they don't have population on top of it being little. So I just think we have to think in power. You know what I mean?
Of course. And then the way they draw Africa in the map like it's tiny,
A lot.
and 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 and, and, and I think America, it takes four Americas to fill Africa.
I don't
But
even
if you
feel
look
it.
at the map,
America, Europe, Scotland, all of them. All of the whole Europe can go into Africa, and there's still room. And there's
So
still
that's what
room.
I'm saying. Yeah.
So please
Anyway,
don't believe the hype. That even the globe is a lie. Even the map is a lie. It's an absolute lie.
yeah. So basically, that's like when it comes to Traore. I just want to say, keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on, just keep on. Like if you look at these useless African leaders we have now,
Mm-hmm.
uh, 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 they do nothing but steal from people and weaponize their power so that they
Mm-hmm.
can so that they can they can stay in power for long. But
Mm-hmm.
then they lack two things.
What's that?
They lack love and care.
And care.
Those two things, Creed. You remember in the last episode, was it or I think I've said this many times in this show. It starts here. It starts here in the heart.
Mm-hmm.
So emotions affect your mentality, mentality affects your action.
Yeah.
But it starts with the heart. And that's
Yeah.
what's happening in Burkina Faso. Traore might is doing all these good things because he has the love and care for the Burkina Faso people. And of course for the whole of Africa because he's uniting the Sahel region. And I hope that that template will inspire the whole African continent to unite.
Yeah.
But but the thing he has is love and care. You don't need to be like look. And again, I say this all the time in this show and many times when I talk to people. Our problems are so simple, Queen. Black problems are so simple. There's like it is so simple.
It is not
There
simple. You know
might
why
be
it's not?
like like like
Can I
like
can I say
okay,
why it can't be simple? Because you have
it's
people,
simple.
black problems is simple, but when you have white hands in it, it's chaos. So that's why I can't get together because the issue is black problems has a lot of riches around it. Black problems is full of riches in the ground. And long as white hands want some of that riches, they come with chaos. They have a
And
300-400 year they're much more, they've had more money, they've compiled more money, they got more power, and they utilize it to keep chaos and into black problems. So black problems can't be
then
simple with white folks.
remove the white hand. Like
How?
what? What do you mean? How? What did Traore do with removing French troops and removing the French influence out of Burkina Faso?
I
All you
like you
need to
saying that.
do,
I
like
love them
like
doing that. They got to get their guns up too, because these people are killer. That's why it's been like this for so long. They killed us into fear. And Traore said, listen, he even said it, Thomas Sankara is dead, everyone's dead, but we cannot be afraid for justice. And we have to fight and move onward. People are afraid because they see the death that's happened from white chaos. So that's why. And I say that why is because people were afraid. Now Traore he's built in a different cloth. He's like, I don't give a damn. We're gonna fight our way out of this and we're gonna die fighting. And that's what we have to do. Die fighting. People are
yeah.
fearful.
So
You kill their
yeah.
leader, you
So
kill their people, they see the chaos in their country. That's all from Europeans. That's trauma, brother. Let me tell you something. And this is what I'm saying. We are traumatized in the States from, as you said, what you call it, PSSD? What you call it? Post traumatic, no, PTSD, right?
yeah, post traumatic
And
slavery disease.
that's right. And what y'all have? Post traumatic what? Colonization disease, right?
Yeah.
And guess what they
You
both
see,
equal to? They both equal to trauma. And so just as traumatized as they said, well, why African Americans take what they take? We're traumatized. American Africans are traumatized. Africans are traumatized from the same hand. And so we tend to act like that trauma can just dissipate because you at 24 are so powerful. And that's why we love and respect and we give thanks for you. Because at your 24 years of age, 25, big dog, at your 25 years of age, you're powerful. And you haven't gone through some of the stuff or seen what some of the people have seen because you're still young. And that's beautiful. We love your power. We need that power. But understand that 40-year-old is traumatized. That 35-year-old is a little traumatized. That 55-year-old is finished. That 60-year-old is scared. That 70-year-old ain't doing nothing. And those traumas go through generation to generation. Now we got you at 24 who feels very empowered, who doesn't give a damn. We need your freshness. But understand the reason why we see what we do, it starts with trauma, ORINA.
Yeah, it starts with trauma, but we need to find ways on how we can curb the trauma. The problem with Black people is that the way you say it, we are unbothered and we seem to not care about our situation. We have to start somewhere. We
Yeah,
have to start somewhere on how the problem is that we're not even addressing the trauma. We're not even
yeah,
acknowledging that we have the trauma. We're just living our lives with this trauma, and that's why we worship white people. That's why we don't have a problem worshiping white Jesus. That's why we don't have a problem
I
bowing down to the royal family. We don't have a problem, like voting for Trump or voting for Biden. We don't have a problem. Like we don't have a problem with worshiping white people
yeah,
because
yeah.
the
It's trauma.
trauma is it's like a chip that is installed in your brain. It's there
It is.
now.
It's
People like me, people like you, people like people who have big platforms and they
Pan
use their
Africanist.
platform every day to wake up
Yeah.
African people. We are trying to
Yep.
remove the chip of white supremacy, the the trauma chip. We are trying to remove it off of your brain so
Yeah.
that you
But you know what a
start seeing the
psychotherapist told
world.
me? I have a co-host, Dr. Da. I have to give him some shine here with psychotherapists. I said the same thing. Like we gotta work at this trauma. What we doing? He said, listen, trauma doesn't work that way. Trauma looks to be coddled. It looks to have fun. It looks to do everything but to fix itself because it doesn't know how to do that. So it looks to feel good. That's why you see the amount of drug use, the amount of drinking, the amount of nakedness, and we can make serious music out of this trauma. We made hip hop out of this trauma. We made blues, we made R&B, we made everything from this trauma. Gospel, everything's jazz comes from the trauma because trauma is that thing that you never look at it. All you look at how to feel good in it. That one made me think like, wow, this is a licensed psychotherapist, and it makes sense. Like, why do we move this way? Because you don't fix the trauma. What you do is try to be comfortable in the trauma. So you want to have fun. When it's time for entertainment, we're there. We're making music. We know how to shake our tails. We know how to have fun. We know how to have the cookout. We know how to do everything. We know how to celebrate, but we don't know how to fix while we wearing white wigs for 50 years. And we powerful
Yeah,
in our own country. And the white folks ain't even there. We still wearing the wigs. That's how he said that's how insidious trauma is. It don't lift the way we think it lift, and it doesn't move the way we think it should move. And most of us are impotent on fixing it. Oh, that's scary. And that's scary.
mm,
But that's what I would say because I said the same thing. Like, why? Because I feel so powerful. I can see it. I know that if the people stand up, there's nothing they can do. They can't kill all of us. There's no police force bigger than the people. There's none. You can bring. It's going to be a certain amount of police, but it's going to be a million people. So that's what he said. So I want to kind of interrupt you when it comes to this like a psychotherapy part of it, like how trauma is so insidious. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying. So I think to end this Traore topic, I just want to say, keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Yes.
Keep on. Just maintain the love and care that you have for your people. That's the only
Mm.
thing you need to have. Like, look, you stupid African leaders. Let me just tell you one thing. The only thing you need to do is have love and care for your people. That's how, like, Traore is doing what he's doing, not because he's a genius, but because he loves and he cares for his own people. So, you stupid African leaders, you're sitting there with your suits and tie. Sometimes I wonder when you call yourself an African leader, so you wear your nice suit, your nice tie, you have a driver, now you're riding in your motorcade on your way to the office. What are you going to do in that office? What are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do in that office? Are you going to work for the people or to work for yourself? If you're going there to work for yourself, then pack your bags and go. But if you're going there to work for the people, go and work for the people. And that's what Traore is doing. He's just working. Just work. Sometimes these leaders just have fun. They I mean, some leaders, like, you don't even find them in their offices. Like, we have governors. We have governors here in Kenya who you never find them in their offices. They're always traveling and having fun outside of Kenya. And you're like, and that's taxpayers' money going to waste.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so so you're like, if you can't work, then go home. What the hell are like? What the hell are you going to do? You call yourself a governor, and you're not even in the constituency that you're supposed to be in. So basically, what I'm trying to learn from you, bro, like what I'm trying to say about these useless, stupid African leaders that are not doing what Traore is doing. Just learn from him and emulate two things: love and care. If you like, just do that. Because if you love and care, you won't steal from your people. If you love and care, you won't hire incompetent people who help you govern. If you love and care, you would allow imperialists to come and do whatever they want to do here. If you love and care, you won't allow people to steal our minerals. If you love and care, you won't allow white people, white descendants of colonialists to still hold stolen land 50 years, 60 years, 70 years down the line. If you love your people, you won't allow these things to happen in 2025. Just sit down and start loving and caring for your people. That's it.
That's it.
And then and then just see what Burkina Faso is doing. So
Yep.
I think
I
Traore, I mean, just look at the guy. Simple clothes, nothing fancy. Not like the guy. Just sit down and work. That's the
Yeah.
only thing you need. Just sit down and work and love and care for your people. That's it. So I'd like to say, keep on doing what you're doing, Captain Ibrahim Traore. I like saying, there's no cap in Captain Ibrahim Traore, and Ibrahim is him. He's him. Ibrahim is
It's
him.
him. It's him. Listen, if we agree on that, that man is him. I want to say we are inspired in the States by Ibrahim Traore. I've been watching him since about a year ago, and now he's blown up social media. He's blown up everything. I think he's genius. I think he is our ancestors' biggest dream. I think he is He's inspirational, and he ain't scared. And he's fearless. All of these all of these things that makes a great leader. And he loves and care for his people. And you can see it every day. You see what he's doing. And I think as African leaders, they need to look at him. This is a modern way of getting around this colonialization. They never thought that this could happen. The Sahel states. We talk about a country that is landlocked. Burkina Faso doesn't have a port, baby. And he's taking and leveraging what he got. He's not worried about what he don't got. He's doing what he has. So Africa is a big country. It's a big continent. Trust me. And there are countries that are landlocked. There's countries that have ports. But when you are this inspirational and you do what you do, Morocco says, "Come and use my port." This is what happens when you do what you're supposed to do. So it's not about what you don't have, it's about he's leveraging what he has, and it's working. He's doing it the right way. The people love him. I think the people who work around him, the soldiers around him love him. If he wasn't a good leader, they would have been killed him. There is no way that one man can have 20 coups and he's been able to get around each one. It's because people have love for him. It's going to be very hard to get to him. And if you get to him, you better watch Black America. You better watch Black South America. You better watch Black China. You better watch Black Britain. You better watch Africa, because we're going to be on fire. So leave Ibrahim Traore alone. He is him. We respect and love him. And I am just so, in my lifetime, I'm able to see a man that is this inspirational and going forward 10 toes down. Don't give a damn about what nobody says. He's doing what he has to do. My last point. I look at the Saudis. When they come around Europeans, they look like Saudis. I look at why can't African male leaders wear their traditional dress around these Europeans? Why aren't we? I just have a problem with you looking like Europe. I look at when Namibia and the other lady who was the head of state, those women, they don't wear regular dresses. They wear their traditional dress. When you see them, they have pretty dresses. They can wear anything they want. They're the head of state, but they wear their traditional wear when they walk through. So I don't understand why Africans want to emulate and acculturate themselves with the same people who have destroyed us. Wear our traditional patterns that they've stole, the Louis Vuittons and the Gucci, they steal from every pattern that we put out, they steal. And why aren't we wearing them? So that's one thing too. I think power is how you look and present yourself. We should, like you said, every leader should have the Burkina Faso electric car, and they should step out of it in their traditional dress. And I'm done.
Yeah, it's true. You spoke about he's the reincarnation of Thomas Sankara, and one thing came into my mind is the Haitian Revolution. People were not afraid of death.
There you
go. Because their mentality was, if I die physically, no, like basically, but
living, I'm
the
already
mentality
dead.
was
Yes.
the mentality was, if I die physically, if I die, I'll die physically, but my spirit will embody another person to continue the struggle.
Yes.
So they can kill us, but they can't kill the spirit. And the spirit of Sankara has entered Traore, and that's how it's going to be. That's just how it's going to be.
We talk about 30 years ago, and Sankara is right here. Now we're talking 40 years ago, not even 30. I mean, this man, we're still speaking of him and his greatness. That's legacy.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Nobody remembers bad leaders. Nobody even remembers their names. Once they die, they die. I mean, we had a dictator here called Moi. He ruled for 24 years. right? Nobody talks about him. Nobody even cares about him. Nobody cares about him. He was an awful leader.
Whoa.
When like when you're a bad leader and when you die or when you leave office, nobody will give a damn about you. You'll walk in the streets and nobody will care about you.
Yep.
But but till this day, people are talking about Kwame Nkrumah. People are talking about Lumumba. People are talking about Sankara.
Yes.
So
Yes.
history judges bad leaders badly.
I love that. I think that
So
is a absolutely great take. History does not have any love for bad leaders. Love that.
oh yeah. And speaking of you were speaking about, it's very true. You look at the Saudi sheiks and you look at
They're very
like
rich. They can wear suits. They're very rich. They
yeah,
have a lot of suits, but they
now
always look
let
the same. You know?
yeah. We have talked about what happened in the White House with Ramaphosa and Trump. Now let me tell you
Let's
something.
let's go.
It was excruciating for me to watch that whole conversation simply because of one thing. Ramaphosa looked weak.
He did.
He looked he looked very he look and I know why he didn't want to be combative, because he didn't want to he didn't want to risk the business that South Africa does with the US. But
Hmm.
sometimes, sometimes I mean, like, you just have to fight. You can't let these white people talk shit about your people. You can't.
Cannot.
Like, Trump was like, when I watched that thing, I couldn't believe like Ramaphosa just sitting there and watch Trump talk shit about South Africans and saying that there's a white genocide. What do you mean white genocide? Which white genocide? Do you know that white people are whatever 5% or
Seven
whatever
percent,
minimum seven
and they own
percent of the
51
population?
percent, and 51% of the property.
So they own that, and they also own a lot of the media. They also own a lot
Yeah.
of the financial systems. So what do you
Yes.
mean about white genocide? What are you talking about white genocide? Then when
And
that
they have
stupid,
spaces in South Africa where only whites can go. Still, only whites. Only whites live. Only they
oh
go to
yeah,
school.
I,
The clerk.
I need you
They have a
to,
statue of these white folks. It's
yeah,
scary.
I need the audience to research a place called Orania. Orania is one of those. It's a neighborhood. I think it's yeah, like a neighborhood sort of
Yeah.
where white people only live. They only allow white people to
Only
live
allowed.
in that particular land. So
Black
those
people
are the
go there
people who
first and start killing all of them. If that was the case, they
so
wouldn't have an all white anything. If there was a
so those are the
genocide, you go to
people.
the place where they live, right?
Those are the people you're trying to tell me there's a Trump. Like, tell me one thing. Those are the people you're trying to tell me that there's a white genocide after after apartheid ended. In quotes, black people were killed, they were raped, they were done all those sorts of things during apartheid. And then Mandela came and he said, let's forgive all these white people for doing all those heinous acts. That's what
Yes.
happened. Now you mean to tell me that they can get away with all they did? Let me tell you
Thank you.
something. The
All of it.
white man is the white man. Sometimes when I just sit down and think about random stuff, I think about how the white man is the most luckiest person in the world. This is the most luckiest. The white man is the most lucky person in the world. Why? They have done all these heinous acts. They went to South America, they ruined South America. They went to Asia, they they
Goodness.
they ruined Asia. They went, they went to Middle East, they ruined Middle East. And let me not even mention what they did to Africa. And there's no single accountability. There's no single accountability that they've ever faced.
They face
The white
accountability. We
man is
just
the
don't
most
see it.
lucky. The white man is the most lucky person.
He's not
Apartheid.
a,
Look. Apartheid. They killed Steve Biko in a cell, and then they said that he went on a hunger strike. Do you know how many? Do you know how many people died in police custody, and then they said it was suicide during apartheid? All these things were happening. Nobody was held accountable till this day. And those are the people you're trying to tell me that they're undergoing white genocide. Then when that stupid president of yours pulls out pictures, he pulls out a picture of Congo instead of the South. So let me tell you something.
see, that's when I would have lost.
There.
That's when I would have lost
Look,
it if I was Ramaphosa. When I saw those pictures, I would have went off. I'm like, you have the mitigated goal.
Ramaphosa,
I would have went
he
off.
was just.
I wouldn't be able to hold my composure when I saw that. That's the only thing. I think he should have composure because I live around these Europeans and they look for you to break down. They think we're emotional people, which we probably are. That's why we're so nice. So and our emotions get the best of us and we can't govern. So I think part of that was to get under his skin. And I love the way that he actually dealt with it. But when the lie is in front of me and I see these pictures and I know it's not my country, then we got to talk about it on camera. And so I would have had to have a rebuttal that would have been really nasty. So that's the only thing that I wouldn't have been able to swallow is you showing pictures that's not even my country. And that you've already, and those pictures are what you did. What you see in the Congo, you did that. You are part of that problem.
Of course. Look, sometimes, maybe because I'm a fighter, like that's me, Queen. Like maybe because I have this fighting mentality and I don't take shit from nobody. Maybe, but I mean, you need to fight. Fight! You can't just let these white people talk shit about your people. And then you're over there sitting there like, when they get back home, we'll definitely take a look at that. We will take a look at that. What do you mean take a look? You know very well what he's saying is bullshit, but you're letting him talk like that about your own people. That's why I keep on,
You wouldn't have said that to Julius Malema. You wouldn't have said that to Malema. Malema would have tore him to pieces. He won't even meet with Malema. Malema came to the U.S. and they won't even meet with him.
That's what Julius said. I mean, Julius said that if it was me there, I could have brought hell on earth. Let me tell you something. You can't let people. Listen to me, and I want all black people to listen to me. I don't care if you're in corporate America or corporate world or just if you're working with any non-African, be it a white person, be it an Indian or Arab or Asian or whatever. You never ever sit in a room and let any non-African belittle your people.
Absolutely. I agree.
You never ever, don't you ever allow any non-African to belittle where you come from and to belittle your people. Whenever Queen, I know you work with white people, and I know you work for white people. Will you let that slide? Will you let that slide?
When I come into they say, here come Africa. They know better that I do not play about African people, black people, brown people, hued people. I don't play. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon. I am not going to allow you to say anything because I'm going to address it. Because most of what you're saying is not in context because you are the problem. Most things that's happened to African people is because we're being traumatized by other people. So I'm not going to sit in the same room with you and talk about African people ever. So don't do it in front of me. but it happens a lot. When you work in the corporate world, you see Black people acquiesce to these crazy thoughts that come from Europeans. Even I hear like African names, and they're like, "Oh, this name is crazy." No, it isn't. It's a name that means something. What does your name mean? Most African names have meaning. What does yours have? No meaning. You're named after a colonizer. So hush your mouth. So I always have to kind of bring it around because we can't allow that, bro. So I know Julius Malema wouldn't allow that. He wouldn't allow it.
You wouldn't. And
No.
again, I would like to reiterate this. If you're a black person in white spaces, be it your friends, be it in corporate, be it in if you're a black person in white spaces, you never or any non-African space, you never ever allow them to belittle your people. You need to fight. Fight. You can't just let people talk ill about your people. You fight. I don't care what's at stake. Sometimes, let me tell you something. Even though you could have lost some business deals, even though you could have lost some import and export, deals, which is what he really fears.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, lose them, but at least keep your dignity. Your black dignity, your African dignity is the most important thing. Without dignity as an African, you are nothing. Dignity is the most important thing in an African, or in a, let me say black, so that I can uh, uh, you know encompass the whole black race. Black dignity is the most important thing. Is the most important thing. You never, ever, ever, ever compromise your black dignity. I don't care what, if you have to lose business deals, I don't care if you have to lose some money, lose them, but at least keep your black dignity. Because without black dignity, you are dead. You are nothing. You might as well just die. So that's what I'm saying.
I agree. I agree that our dignity and who you are is most important, and we have to carry this armor everywhere. If you black all the time, like you can't go in a room and be lighter. You're gonna be black all the time, so you need to be that throughout. So let no one speak about your people. Let no one speak about your people ever. And I totally agree with that. I don't care if they're in Africa, and I don't care if they're in America. The problem with a lot of American Africans is they want to say they're not from Africa. That's a common thing. I'm from America. But it amazes me how we can embrace a country that continuously to hurt us, but we can't embrace a country that we won't even visit, that we come from. That's trauma. That's a sickness to me. That you can embrace something that continues to kill your children in the street, you to continue kill black men and diminish black men's greatness, to hurt black women, to hurt black families, to incarcerate more black people than some countries. But you can love that, but you can't love Africa. It's scary. Totally scary.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to say. And then one thing I have to say about the Ramaphosa thing is, okay, another message to these stupid, useless African leaders we have here. Apart from Traore and apart from Traore and apart from President Netumbo of Namibia and a few
Mm-hmm.
others, there are a few, but mostly we just feel the stupid and useless people who call themselves president. One message I have for them is, when you suit up and you go to the UN meetings, or when you suit up and you go to the White House or to the Buckingham Palace. So you see these African presidents going to these international meetings, or to just to do a state visit to the Buckingham Palace, or to the White House. Let me tell you something. What happened to Ramaphosa should be a lesson, and that I've always been saying, and that these white people do not care and do not respect African leaders, they see you as nothing but a piece of shit. That's what they like. They look at you as nothing but a piece of shit, and you know, they look at you as just another tool in the toolbox that I'm going to use. That's the
Yep.
only thing. Whenever you see uh, uh, a white leader talking to a black leader or having a meeting, you know that at the end of that meeting, whatever whatever they've agreed, whatever deal they've agreed, the black man is at the bottom of the deal.
Yep.
Like in that deal, whatever deal they've signed there, the white man has taken the most shares out of that deal.
Yeah, and you know what, that
So,
goes back to why Gaddafi had to go, is because if Africa becomes one and puts all of these resources in one pot and is backed by gold, the dollar's done, the euro's done, the yen is done, all of them are done. And so it is very important that Africa comes up. So if you are in a country in Africa, it's beautiful, but the continent has to come up. It has to have power, because once the continent has power, these shenanigans you see with these Euro boys will end. You don't see them doing that to Russia. They don't go to Saudi Arabia with no, when those sheiks come in, they're not sitting down with no daggone movie. They're not bringing out no
mm,
pictures. And the Saudi Arabians, trust me, they're not innocent. They are slave, but they've done a lot too. Trust me. But I bet he will never pull that punch with them. And he does it to black leaders because he can. Because until Africa is powerful, Africans are and it can be used and misused. That's why it's so important for Africa to be powerful. What do you think about that?
of course, of course, of course, and so that's why, to finish my point, they don't care about you when you suit up and when you go to the UN meetings. In fact, I'm 100% sure that these white people laugh at those African leaders. They laugh at them, and they're like,
Mm.
"Man, he's nothing. He doesn't even know that I'm using him." Or, when you're having a meeting with the backing, with the king, or Trump, or the German chancellor, or the French president, after the meeting, you should hear what they talk about you behind the cameras. They're like, this is a useless guy. He's a useless guy. So that's what
Well,
I'm saying.
they know that they don't have a lot of power. You know what I'm saying? Really, if you look at it, they know how powerful they are. How powerful can they be?
Yeah, and
There's no
and
nukes.
Trump and Trump is the only president that I've seen who hasn't hidden his disrespect to African leaders. You know, all these other white leaders, they hide it. I can see it. They always hide they always want to look diplomatic, but deep inside, when they're meeting African leaders, they don't give a damn about them. They don't, the disrespect, like you can feel it. But with Trump, he doesn't hide it. I mean,
He
just
can't.
see, just,
We
just,
live
just see
around
what
a
he did
man
to
who's an
Ramaphosa.
idiot. He cannot hide nothing. You expect
Just see
somebody?
what
What
he
has he
did.
ever hid? Tell me what he's hid. He doesn't know how to hide. He doesn't. He doesn't have the capacity. Like the other
Now,
ones know. That's the problem with Trump, is Trump doesn't have the capacity to hide nothing. He's going to show everything on right in front of you, and you either like it or you're not. You can't do nothing about it. That's the sad thing, is you see that he's a problem, but you can't solve it. That's just
now,
it.
now, now, with that situation, I'd like to commend and I'd like to commend and I'd like to also verbally kill Trump, and I want to commend and to verbally kill Ramaphosa. let me start by Trump. I want to commend Trump. You know why? Because he's the only president I've seen in my lifetime who hasn't even hidden the fact that he only cares about white people and white people only. He said that, there's a white genocide in South Africa, and the only people I care about in South Africa are the 7% white people who are there. I don't care about the majority blacks. I care about the white people there. So you know
Yeah.
what? I'd like to commend him because he's looking out for his own people. He's looking out for his own people, something that we don't do. Something that we don't do.
Trump is
We
doing the
always
right
look
man
out
thing.
for we always look out for everybody apart from ourselves. So,
Yep.
as soon as we start thinking about oppression, oh man, what about the Latinos? Let's help the Latinos. No, let's help the Arabs. Oh no, let's help the Indians. Oh no,
The alphabets. Let's
and
help everybody.
let's help everybody apart from ourselves.
Yep.
But Trump is saying, look, I only care about white people in South Africa. So look, I'd like to commend him for that, but let me kill him. Let me verbally kill him for this. You are not going to I'm trying not to cuss, but I've already cussed. So
I
let me
need you to
just go
cuss.
ahead.
I need you to go ahead. Curse. Let's
You
go.
you don't have authority. I don't care who you are to talk shit about my people in South Africa
Mm.
or in Africa in general or black people all over the world. You have no authority to meddle into our issues.
Yep.
You keep on talking about, make America great again, and you keep on talking about how you need to deport all these people, and America needs to rebuild itself. But you're the person who wants to to snoop into other people's business. So you don't want people to snoop into America's business, but you want yourself to snoop into other countries' business.
Of course. That's the
So,
arrogance.
so, who are you? Like, who do you think you are to snoop into our our business? Yet you're the one who doesn't want us to snoop into your business.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to hear nothing about you talking about Africa. Your country has robbed Africa for hundreds of years. You people have killed. You people have done all sorts of things when it comes to Africa. You've stolen from Africa. You've stolen our resources. You're stealing our resources, and you have stolen people. You've stolen our brothers and sisters.
The
So
most
you
natural
have
resource.
So,
Yes.
so, so look, you've done all those things, and yet you don't even want to talk about reparations. So please, don't tell me nothing about Africa. You fix your country if you're equipped to fix it, and let's fix our Africa the way we are equipped to fix it.
Mm,
And
I
and
agree.
next time you want to, and next time you want to embarrass an African president, please pick the right photos. What is wrong with this guy? Pick I mean, if you want to embarrass somebody, at least pick the right thing. Anyway, Ramaphosa, look, I'd like to commend you. You know why? I want to commend President Ramaphosa because he has exposed on live television that no white leader respects African leaders. Whenever you go
Mm,
into a meeting with a white leader, they don't respect you, and any deal that comes out of that meeting is always putting the white man on top and the black man at the bottom. So I'd like to commend him because that exchange showed in real time how disrespected these African leaders are when they go to the UN meetings and when they go to these, to these international meetings. Now, let me verbally kill you, Ramaphosa. You cannot, please, 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 you cannot let a white person talk crap about your people. Don't just like. Let me tell you, if I were him, I would have resigned, or I would have, or like if there are serious South African parliamentarians, by now they should file a motion to impeach him. Because if you can't defend your people in front of the most powerful man in the world, then why are you the president? The number one job of a president is to protect its own people, protect your people.
Yeah.
If you can't do
Why
that,
go
then why
there?
are you president?
Why
No,
go
why are you
there if you don't
president?
want to be powerful? Yeah, I don't understand. I can understand him holding because he wants to keep the peace. But once you see the lies that they're conjuring right in front of you, you got to blow up. You got to give them something. Give them something to talk about. I think Trump knew what he was dealing with, or they might have neutralized him before. You never know. What we see on television is contrived, you know. And I'm not saying
And then,
Ramaphosa is powerful, huh?
and then he gave him a gift. How can you, after after all the crap he has talked about South Africa, you give him
You
a
know,
gift?
yeah, I
That's
know
the
that's
PTCD. That's the PTCD, post-traumatic colonization disease.
ah. Listen, I get you. I understand. We have to be powerful. You go that long way, and somebody is put out a video. They pull up a video and they pull pictures that's not your country. You got to blow him up. You got to blow him
Not
up.
even.
I'm sorry.
If, if I were there, I could have gone crazy. I don't know. I could have brought hell on earth. Nobody. I cannot allow anybody to talk ill about my people. You can't let that slide. You can't. You can't. You can't. Anyway, so
Well, let me ask you a
that's
question. This is for you. This is for you.
yeah.
As a young, powerful Pan African, one of the youngest I know, 25 years old, power, got all that power in your back. So the box score, we do a box score from 1 to 5. 1 is horrible, five is great. So when you go to Traore, what's this box score?
5. 5.
All right.
Uh,
Okay.
5.
Ramaphosa.
0.
Your leader, the Kenyan leader, William Ruto.
Less than 0.
Oh my gosh. Okay, just want to get a measure of what you think. Kagame in that Ethiopia. What'd he get?
Kagame from Rwanda.
I'm sorry, Rwanda.
Kagame,
Yeah, Rwanda. What Kagame get?
I'll give him a 2.
A
Simply
2.
because
He's trying.
simply because he does well by Rwanda people.
Okay.
Uh, he
But he
has
has
really
some problems.
transformed.
He's transforming the country, but he does have some problems. But he's definitely transforming the country. Okay. So you like him a little. All right. The lady in Namibia, I don't know her name. Namibia. She's
Netumbo.
special. Yes, her. What she get?
It's too early. It's too early because she just came into office the other day. It's too early.
That's
But so
okay.
far, so
So
far,
far though.
I like what she did because she said, "Hey, if America is making it hard for us to go to their country, then we're making it hard for them to come to our country."
You see what
So
she just
it's
announced? You see what she just announced? Education is free for everybody. Education for all her
and
people is now free. From 0 to whatever you want to do is free. The government will
so
subsidize all education in Namibia. Love it.
I'll give her I'll give her a 3 because it's too early. If she does
Okay.
well, I might give her a 4 or even a 5. But for now, let me give her a 3. Yeah.
The 3. Okay. Got it. I'm gonna let. What about the guys? I don't know. In Niger, the Sahel states, Niger, Mali, those two generals,
Or the two? Oh,
captains,
you mean
Mali and
Goita
Niger.
and
Yes.
yeah. Uh,
What
uh,
they what they
well,
get?
well, I'll give them a three. I'll give them a three because they're trying. They're trying to follow in the footsteps of Traore, and
Hmm.
the fact that they're making that pact with Traore is a huge plus. So I'll give them a three. I'll give them a
Okay.
three.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next time I'm gonna have them written out because there's a few more, but they still new. Like the Botswana president, he's new. He's just he's been there for a year. He's talking real good stuff. And the guy in Chad. So that whole region is something's happening over there in West Africa.
Oh
I love to
yeah,
see
of
it.
course.
Yeah. So I
Uh,
hope that extends to East Africa, South Africa, North Africa. Let's get it all. Libya, all of these countries, please. Because they removed Gaddafi and Libya is trash. This country had no debt. Look what they did. It said he was bad for his country. Awful.
and that's what and you know who killed Gaddafi? Your favorite president, or
Obama
Barack Hussein Obama. And
and
you
Hillary
know,
Clinton, two crooks.
and let me tell you something about Obama. Obama is and I know Kenyans will. Let me tell you something. When
Oh
you
yeah,
come to
y'all should
Kenya,
love Obama. He's from his dad is from Kenya.
I don't care about that, and I don't care if she, like, because his dad was Luo, and Luo is a tribe here in Kenya.
That's right. Okay.
Um, so basically, Obama is a Luo, and I'm also half Luo. So uh, I don't care if we come from the same tribe. I don't care if we come from the same, like from the same country.
Philly.
I don't care.
Same
I don't
Philly.
care about that. Obama was a coon. He did nothing. Listen, I don't care if you come from the same village. Obama was a coon. He was a. Obama is the biggest coon that has ever existed.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I know Kenyans will get on my ass because Obama is like the second. Like Obama is like Jesus here. You see, so you can't talk
Mm.
nothing about Obama here in Kenya. But I don't care. Me, I only
Obama came to
operate by
Kenya. He
uh,
came to Kenya.
uh, to do what? To continue, to strengthen America's influence, to strengthen Americans' power against Kenya.
Yep.
And you go to the village where his grandmother used to stay.
Yeah.
It's dusty. It's and you wonder. You're like, damn. At least at least do something for your people. He can't even do that. So and don't even let me mention the nothingness he did for black people in America. This guy grew up in Chicago. You grew up in Chicago. That's like the blackest city. And you did nothing for black people? Nothing. You
But
couldn't
he didn't
even pick
grow up
one
in
issue.
Chicago. He went
Just
to
pick one issue.
he didn't grow
Pick
up in
one
Chicago. That's the
issue.
problem. He grew up in Hawaii with his white folks. That's the problem. He grew up with a white grandfather, a white grandmother, and a white mother.
Yeah,
Away
but he
from
spent a lot of time in Chicago. He
he spent a
spent
lot
he
of time
spent
after college. Yeah, after he graduated from Harvard. After he became a lawyer. So that's where they went to live, and he did his work as a grassroots. That's what he came up as. But his life was around Europeans, and it shows.
so
Absolutely
yeah,
shows.
and so Obama is the biggest school. He did nothing for black people, and he's not even doing anything for his village here in Kenya. So I don't want to hear nothing about Obama. He killed Gaddafi. Uh,
Yes.
uh, 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 and he's the reason why AFRICOM is strong, because AFRICOM really got a lot of support during the Obama presidency. So he's the reason why
Yeah,
AFRICOM
he
has a lot
seeded
of power.
AFRICOM into Africa. That was his implant. He planted
Oh
AFRICOM
yeah.
and gave it wings into Africa, which is a problem.
So that's the person you want me to praise because he's from Kenya. I don't care if he's from
That's your
Kenya.
brother.
I don't care. Listen. I don't care if you come from the same village, from the same tribe. I don't care about that. He did nothing for black people. And if you
That's
do
it.
nothing for black people, I don't care about you. So that's why I
Ding,
keep on
ding.
saying Obama is the biggest. Oh, listen, Obama is the biggest coon. He is bigger than Clarence Thomas.
Oh,
He is
wow.
bigger than he is bigger. Like, who's the biggest coon? I know Clarence Thomas is the biggest coon.
He's a
Um,
super.
he's
Clarence
big.
is a super coon.
Obama
He said,
is a
"You big."
super coon. Obama is a super coon. Bigger than, you know
Super.
how bad you know like
Mm.
you know how bad you have to be bad to be worse than Clarence Thomas. Then last year last year he had the nerve to tell black people that you guys are not supporting Kamala the way you supported me. And I'm like, why should we support, like,
You.
what did, first of all, what did you do? What did you do for black people so that black people can support another? Like, what do you mean? You did nothing for
Another
black
one of
people.
you. Like, we're supposed to support another one of you. Now, I do think, unfortunately, she would be better than this idiocy that we're going through right now. But I don't think she'll be any help for black people. Again, we see people who are their lives are seeded into European life. You're married, your lifestyle is around Europeans. And I'm not, listen, love is love, that's not my business. But if you can't be, that's the only thing that Obama gets a plus from me. He got a black woman. But if I was a black woman and I was his wife, we would have a little talk about his policies. So I still got a lot of respect for Michelle, but I don't like the policies. I don't. If you're black, you have to do something for black people. You have to do, and don't tell me Obamacare. Something specifically for your people to empower your people has to
Then,
come from you.
yeah, then he had the nerve of, and you know, when he came to Kenya when he was president, that's the only time that I've been proud of you know,
A,
of my
a
president.
sitting president came to Kenya. That's never happened.
No, like let me tell you something. When Obama came, was it in 2016 or 2015, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the only time that I've ever been proud to have a Kenyan president. Like, that's the only time that I've ever said, "Wow, this, like what Uhuru did." Yeah, because Obama was trying to, you know, spread that LGBT type of stuff here,
Oh, he ended that.
and yeah, it was
He
during
wasn't
a
happy.
press conference. Yeah,
He said no
you know, it was during,
alphabets.
oh, like it was during a press conference, and he was saying, "Oh, people, you know, people should love who they love and all that." Blah, blah. And you know, Uhuru was like, "No, not in this country, man. We have bigger, you know, we have bigger fish to fry." That's the only time that I've ever been proud of a Kenyan president. That's the only time I stood up and I applauded. I was like, "Woo!" That's the only time that I've ever felt that I've ever felt that I have a president. You see, because he really stood his ground. He was like, you know, we don't do that type of shit here. We don't do that type of shit here. So yeah. So
We have to have
Obama.
a conversation about that too. About we have to talk about that at some point because the reality is people are they're gay people in Africa. That is a reality. And so I think that's something that should be talked about. But I don't think that another president has to come to somebody else's country and tell them who they should value and who they shouldn't value when you're not valuing regular black people, not even gay people, just regular black people. How about that? So, but I think we should have that conversation too about the alphabets. You know, this is Pride Month in America, in the States. This is
Well,
National Pride
I'll let you
Month.
know that I don't support the lifestyle, but I don't dislike the people. I love all black
Mhm.
people, regardless
Me
of
too.
what they are. But I am allowed to disagree with the lifestyle because I
Mhm.
know the game that white supremacy is playing with that lifestyle
Yeah.
into controlling our population and all that. It's in the population control strategy. So I know the games they're playing with it, and I wish that even the LGBT people look at how they are being weaponized and how they are being
Mhm.
used. But I don't agree with the lifestyle. But I will never, ever, ever spread hate amongst the people.
Well, the
So,
reason
Queen,
why
I
it's so
think,
powerful is because most of the LGBT are white men. So we got to understand that wherever white men are, they make an agenda. So white men are at the helm of that call, and wherever white men are, they're going to make it like it should be all over the world. And that's just what it is. And we're not saying that because gay people are everywhere. I love black people. I don't give a dang if they got one foot and one toe. They like horses. I don't care. I love
yeah,
African people. I don't have to agree with what you do or what you do or what you don't do, or I can't agree. But more than anything, I love black people. But I think that what we see is with LG with the alphabets. I don't want to mess it up. It's because white males are at the helm. It always goes back to that, brother. It is that white
yeah,
male patriarch. When they're present, then the language is everywhere. That's just what it is. If tomorrow they wake up and all of them want green nolators, they want to put green nolators all over the world. That's just the arrogance of white males. It's just what it
yeah,
is. And so that's what we see this, and it is depopulation. It's a lot of that, but these behaviors didn't just start and they're not going to end. But this agenda starts with white men. You get what I'm saying? And
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
white men like, we have to normalize. That's just what
Mm.
it is. And so that's where we are. So today we talked about, because we've been here an hour and 42 minutes. We lit the
Yeah, maybe.
you done went to
Yeah,
Obama, you done hit Ramaphosa, you done hit all of the guys. You hit Chware, you gave him his love, you kicked Ramaphosa in his back, like sit down somewhere. You put box scores on some of the leaders. Lord have mercy. then you put Obama in the super coon. He got the super coon. Obama, you don't get no love on MiMs Monday, brother. This is not a spot for you. No love. You're
I,
Kenyan. You're y'all even the same tribe. No love.
yeah, same
I
tribe.
love that about you. Same
Yeah,
tribe,
yeah.
no love.
I
I
don't
love
care
that
about
about
that.
you.
I don't
You
care
don't care
about that.
about that. I love that about this brother. Listen, we have featured ORINA. This is every second and fourth Monday. We're trying to build this space. These are powerful conversations. We're going to keep it coming. We're going to keep bringing things out for the culture, for the diaspora. It is our goal to unite and have these great conversations so we can talk about some things. We need you guys to pull up, get in the chat, and we don't want you to hold back. ORINA, we're gonna have to stream into your
Yeah,
YouTube. So we got to get some of these Africans on here. I want to hear what they got to say. So we got to stream into your YouTube too or something. Because we need this message to get out. And we need some people to pull up on us. So I think that's the next time we need to stream into your YouTube. You got a YouTube, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. We can
yeah,
do
we
that.
need, we need to stream into your YouTube and get some of these East Africans on here, these Africans. And I mean, I've had a lot of hits from London too. And
Mm.
a lot of Africans in London. So I've had a lot of hits from them. So we need to move this around. But I love the space. I love the power you bring to the mic. And listen, keep it coming. We back here on the fourth Monday. Take us out with the jewel. Take us out. You're always in the show. Take us out.
Yeah.
Peace, people.
The last word before we wind up is I want to talk, like, since we're talking about African leaders, let me just talk to these stupid, useless African leaders we have who call themselves president. Because like that's what they're, they're nothing but useless and stupid people who have no love and care. Apart from Traore and a few others, majority is just a bunch of useless people. So I just want to tell them this: history judges bad leaders really, really bad. Nobody remembers all the African bad leaders, but everybody remembers all the African good leaders. Everybody, yeah, till this day, forevermore, their names will never, ever, ever, ever die. The Sankara name will never die.
Mm-mm.
Lumumba never die.
Never die.
Nkuruma never die. So
Yep.
what you do right now will dictate how history will judge you. Do you want to be remembered as a useless leader who just stole money and stole all the wealth that is in the country and kept it all to yourself? Then when you die, your kids fight for it.
Mm.
Then when they finally settle down and when the kids inherit your wealth, they sell it and then they use that money to buy drugs and alcohol and stupid stuff. So
Yep.
so let me ask you: you stole from poor Africans who needed education, who needed health, who needed good governance. You stole that money so that you can use it on buying yourself a nice car, or buying yourself a nice house, or buying yourself a gold watch and some red bottom shoes. Or when you die, your kids use that money to buy more stupid things. Like, is it worth it? Is it worth it for people to sleep hungry? Is it worth it for people to, to live with bad health so that you can, so that you can steal the money that is meant to give people good education and good health to buy yourself a golden Rolex? Like, sometimes when you sit down, do you ask yourself, is what I'm doing really, really sensible? Like, is what I'm doing really? So I'd like, so like, my last word is this: just sit down and watch what Traore is doing. Anything that Traore is doing, just do what Traore is doing. Like, just sit down and copy everything he's doing. Just copy him. Look, in fact, look, my last word is, well, before I give my last word, never, ever, 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 ever. I don't care whether you're a black man in the corporate space, or a black man in a social, in a white social space, or in a white corporate space. Never let any non-African talk crap about your people. You never allow that to happen. And so my last word is this: you African leaders, just sit down and copy what Traore is doing. Because to me, he has a 10 out of 10 score. So just sit down and copy him. Just copy him. And then you'll see the change that will emulate, that will emanate from your country. But just sit down and copy him. Just copy him. Simple. Just copy him.
Copy everything, brother.
Everything. Copy how he chased away the French. Copy how he's increasing agriculture. Copy how he's cutting up, he's cutting up the budget by lowering salaries of these politicians. Copy him
Yep.
by building EVs and electronics. Copy him. Just copy what he's doing. Because you're so stupid, because you're so useless, because you can't think about what you can do for your people, because you lack originality and you lack you lack competence, just sit down and copy what he's doing. Because clearly you don't know how to run a country. So you
They need
African leaders,
innovation. They need innovation.
most African leaders don't know how to run their country. So you know what? Because most of you stupid African leaders don't know how to run your countries, just sit down and copy what Traore is doing.
Just copy. Just copy. Copy and print, baby. Copy and print. Listen, that was the last word from the ORINA, the original. The official ORINA. Follow him, guys. Follow him on YouTube. Follow him on IG. His page is powerful. He's doing a lot in Kenya. We're going to talk a little bit about that too. But today we're done. I'm out of here. Deuces. It's been good. We out of here. Oh, y'all know what we're dealing with. My brother's he's always powerful, my brother. He don't do no deuces.
No.
Good night, everyone. That's my brother. Good night.
All right, so Queen, I have to go. So
Wait. Okay, let me end the stream.